All right, Nelly.
Hi.
Hi, it's gonna be fun.
Yes.
I don't even know where to start, but I think I start with something important: cheese and wine. Because I see, I don't know, I see a little bit of a connection between you coming into the company and all of a sudden, I don't know if it's connected or not, but we're gonna find out now. All of a sudden, we have cheese and wine on Fridays, and now, come on, Nelly, you have to tell us what happened.
Well, it all started, I guess I was having lunch with maybe it was Ulf, Joachim Nydemark, and Thomas the other day, or it was early in my internship. So I'm here as an intern. Yes. And I think we were just talking about cheese. And then I suddenly remembered that there was this recent cheese that I had tried recently that I kind of fell in love with. And then I was trying to explain the flavor to people, and it was very hard. It's very hard to explain how cheese tastes like. It's just
Any taste is hard to explain, isn't it?
yeah,
Tastes are not they're supposed to be tasted, not sort of explained.
exactly explain. So instead of explaining, I brought the cheese to work, and coincidentally, it was a Friday. And I don't really know how the wine started. I guess the week after that, we just somehow rotated around. Other people brought cheese, other people brought wine, and then it just became a tradition from there.
Yeah, it's a little bit sad now, because we are adhering to a bit of the, all the regulations of Corona. So it's no Friday cheese outside my office anymore. So I sort of miss it.
Yeah. I mean, I did buy some cheese on Friday last week. There was quite a big cheese table. Slavica had brought a lot of cheese and glögg.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe you left a little early, but there was a lot of cheese ornaments.
Wow. Now, yeah, I must have. I certainly missed it.
Yeah.
So, Nelly, you're an intern with us. How long have we had Cheese Party, or rather, how long have you been with the company?
I've been with the company since September 1st of this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, from the beginning of this semester. So, my school semester starts in September or the first week of September generally. And so this year it was on the 1st of September.
And tell us what do you study, and what year are you in?
So I'm studying interaction design or UX design, and I'm in my third year. So in our third year, we are encouraged to go out and see the world either in the form of an internship or an internship abroad or exchange studies. And then if those are not available, then we do like elective courses. So I was lucky enough to have gotten the opportunity to work here with this lovely bunch of people at Crunchfish.
So because I'm sorry for being so ignorant of cheese and everything, but so how did you find us, or did we find you, or how do we sort of come about?
I actually was the one initiating. I sent an email to Crunchfish. I don't know who it was behind the email, but I sent it anyhow. I was approached by Joachim Nydemark.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I think I sent the email around May, and then I was first turned down, or yeah, they were like, yeah, we like you, but we don't really have any opportunities for you so far. We like your background, it's interesting, but right now we don't have any open positions for you. And then 2 weeks later, I found an email again from Joachim, and it was like, yeah, I think we do have something for you now. So please come in, let's talk. So it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And at Crunchfish, then, sort of using your skills from your UX design school, what do you do at Crunchfish?
Okay, so let's see how to constructively talk about the project. Um, so us as interaction designers or UX designers, we're always, I guess, trying to improve interaction between either a product or a service and people. So we're always looking at like the usability side of things, trying to improve this junction between people and product. And that's constantly being challenged. People, you would think that, okay, the iPhone 4 or whatever it was a few years ago, it's great, it's revolutionary, but then they keep putting out new products, and that's because interaction designers are constantly improving things. So yeah, when people ask me what I'm doing, I try to say, yeah, do you see why Apple is great to use? That's because of us. We're making it better for you. So how how that plays into Crunchfish. So this interaction is constantly being challenged. And my assignment specifically is to look at this interaction between people and public screens. And when you speak of public screens, you think of touch screens, small screens like self-checkout, or like these small screens, kiosks, where if you want to locate a specific store, you tap on the screen. And that is the current status quo. But then, of course, that's being challenged because people are always looking to have new, improved ways of interacting with things. And coincidentally, COVID happened. And then all of a sudden, there's a demand for touchless interactions because some people are more paranoid when it comes to hygiene, and they don't necessarily want to touch with their finger because you never know what's touched it. So coincidentally, that was a thing. And of course, there was already a shift in interaction. People are trying to look ahead, look more into the future, and to explore new things. And I guess gestures has always been in the back of our heads. And all of a sudden, COVID, yes. So what I'm doing now is I was investigating and trying to propose a new set of gestures or a new pattern for interaction when it comes to people and screens in public. So I wanted to find out what is the most feasible gesture in terms of like ergonomics, feasibility in general, and what else? Detection by the camera based on the software that exists within Crunchfish.
Is it a secret what you have sort of come up with, or can you, or do you have any conclusions?
Yeah, I don't think it's much of a secret.
Can you show us? Can you show us? Because you know,
Sure.
yeah. So what if you think you are in front of a, you know, the camera now is your public screen, and what would you do to control it? Sort of, what would you do?
So I've done several user tests, and the conclusion I have drawn so far from my A/B testing, we had two variants, but the winner so far, just based on the interviews, it's to aim with a finger
Mm.
like this.
Looks like a mouse pointer.
Exactly. So the hand itself is the mouse pointer this time, and
Yeah.
to select is to pinch like that.
Yeah. Okay. So you select with a pinch. Yeah, we love our pinch. Yeah, because and it's great that you actually, because that's the one we propose also for AR, VR, also for mobile screens. So it's good that your tests then are showing that
Yeah, it's
winner,
validating.
because I think ergonomically it's sort of it's a good gesture to do, isn't it? It feels sort of natural to do, and it's yeah, people
Yeah.
relate to it.
Yeah, I mean, based on the tests, even though this, you might think it's an unfamiliar gesture because you don't really,
Pinch.
yeah, you wouldn't think so. At least from my tests, in the beginning, people saw the instructions on how to interact, and they see the pinch, and they're like, I'm not sure if that's a good gesture to use. And then they try it themselves, and then they prefer it over my other variant of interaction. So
What was the runner up?
the runner-up was to aim with your palm and selecting with a grab.
Okay. Yeah. It might be, I think, for longer distances, because I think if you are, you know, if you're standing in front of a screen, maybe 10, 20 meters away, maybe that interaction would be a preferred way, simply because of distance, I would think.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the conclusions that I've drawn from, or a pretty critical insight, that a lot of people do think that this could be an interesting gesture to explore, but it's, in terms of ergonomics, it's not necessarily the most comfortable. And this, especially this gesture, it's kind of taxing to your forearm. If you try it yourself, you can feel your entire forearm muscles tensing. So people did realize that without me mentioning it at all. And also many people agreed that these big gestures are for bigger screens in a far longer distance away, and also for shorter operations. So you don't have to really do these taxing moments a lot.
Yeah.
This one is much more
Interesting. Yeah. And I know I've heard that there are sort of in many industries. I think airline is one. You know, all these every single seat has sort of almost like a tablet. And I know airlines because they are dead scared about, because that's all. COVID has almost killed the whole industry. And a way to get the passengers back is that the screens should be operated now in a with touchless interaction instead. So I think it's coming, and then that it's also you know, hospitals. You really don't want to touch you know, iPads, whatever they have there, or tablets, or any sort of screen. So I think touchless interaction in many of those situation makes a heck of a lot of sense, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of people that I've had this conversation with also agree, especially hospitals and plane cabins, definitely.
Yeah, that's two areas. Yeah, I remember a fun story. You know, you mentioned iPad before, because I've had a background in Ericsson, and when Apple released their iPhone, there were people in Ericsson who were not impressed. Because they said, well, it doesn't have as many features as we do in our Ericsson phone. And there was one guy who said, if you just drill deep enough down in our menus, we can do anything that the iPad can do. I just kind of think it's kind of funny. They didn't get it really, that the fact is people don't want to drill down in your stupid menus. I think the UX is really what made it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
UX is everywhere. That's
yeah,
why I'm studying it.
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware, but my eldest daughter, she's also in UX, and so I like the area a lot, and I think we pride ourselves a long time in Crunchfish with UX. I think we had Eleanor here, and we have Thomas now that I think you're working closely with, and so it's a sort of a strong area for us, and I think it's great that you sort of you found us and wanted to sort of work with us. But you said that to do an intern you can go abroad, but you are already sort of abroad, aren't you?
Yeah, if you think of it that way, yes. So
tell me a little bit about your background. Where are you from? Sort of, were you born and raised in Svedala or somewhere else?
Totally. No, I'm actually not. I was born and raised in Taipei, Taiwan, so quite a long way from here.
Yeah.
And I moved here after graduating high school. So I moved here when I was 18, alone.
You came alone? Okay.
I did.
At 18, why do you hop on a plane and go to Sweden when you're 18?
Yeah,
you run away from home?
This must be the most commonly asked question for me. I should have like a...
Now you can put it on tape. So this is the last time you're going to answer this one, you know, because it's going to be on tape now.
Yes, I should have a hologram above my head of like commonly asked questions. This is why I'm going to Sweden. No, I've always been fascinated by Sweden growing up because my father works for a Swedish company, but their main headquarter, I actually don't know if that's their headquarter, but I think there are two main headquarters, and one is in Stockholm, Sweden, and one is in Taiwan, or kind of outside of.
What company is that?
It's called SHL, but it's not the hockey league. It's
we don't look for Taiwan when it comes to hockey.
No, not at all. I mean, there are some hockey leagues there, but I wouldn't say it's as big as Sweden. But they look at medical in devices, like mainly I think they're working with auto injectors. And there's a lot of focus on mechanical engineering and industrial design there.
So had you been here with your, you know, given that your father is sort of working for a Swedish sort of Taiwanese sort of company, did you ever come here for a visit, or did he just tell tales about the Vikings when he came home?
Yeah, he definitely did that. But also I started coming to see, I joined my father and my entire family over to Sweden kind of every summer since I turned 12, maybe.
Okay.
So I had a biased view of Sweden because then I was always hanging out with my dad's father's friends, and they were, they lived in the archipelago outside of Stockholm. So I had this
Beautiful.
twisted vision of beautiful blue oceans and islands and boats. I'm not saying that that's not the case, but definitely I wasn't prepared for the winter. Not to say that I love it now. I've grown. Um, I have a liking towards it now because I do appreciate this whole like seasonal changes. That you don't
It
really.
is an acquired taste, our winter.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I prefer it.
Because
rain.
I did something here in the weekend.
Yeah.
I actually joined the anonymous endorphinists. And there is anonymous alcoholics, but this is sort of a spin on that. It is the anonymous endorphinists, and because I go to a sauna, and then you have 3 dips in the ocean, and I do that all year round. But it was one woman who challenged me, Charlotta Falvin, who wrote to me that, are you a chicken, or do you do the first dip in the ocean without the sauna? And I said, ooh, that's a toughie. I haven't tried that, but I did in the weekend. So I very proudly wrote to her on Facebook and said, we're no chickens anymore. We're proud as, we're very proud because we went straight in, 7.7 degrees. Have you tried that, Nelly?
Well, I tried it in the middle of the summer and I hated it. It was so cold. Actually, I'm trying to remember. I was on a trip up to Varberg with my friends from school. So that was my first experience with kallbadhus. It was really interesting, but it was in the middle of summer. I think it must have been mid-July.
And it was cold, you said?
Yes, it was freezing. It was really cold because it was really wavy and the weather wasn't perfect. It wasn't high sun in any way. But I mean, it must have been like 18 degrees as opposed to what, 7 degrees you just said?
7.7 was the temperature now in the weekend, yes.
Yeah, I think I definitely started with the sauna, but I think I must have gone to the sauna, came out, still couldn't jump into the water, went back into the sauna again because I took too much time hesitating whether to jump into the water or not. Yeah. And then I got cold again, so I had to go back in the sauna. So I had to sauna twice before I finally gathered the courage to jump into the water. And it was really liberating, and I kept doing that for a few times. That's the only time I've done it, but I definitely look forward to trying it out.
It is a good thing. I think you should. One thing, it was actually my youngest daughter who told me because she went to a yoga retreat, and she was telling me a little bit how to get into an ice bath, with ice cubes, and it was just to be extremely focused on something else. Because if you are in your brain, the brain can only think about one thing at a time. So think about, and you just don't focus on it's cold in the water. That's the worst thing you can do. You just have to, think about something else, and that helps a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Now I'm just remembering what I guess there were so many things going on at the same time. There were also jellyfish in the water at the same time. They weren't the stinging ones. They are the clear ones that you can throw at people.
Yeah.
But
I'm not supposed to do that. You know that.
Huh?
You're not supposed to throw them at people. You know that. It's.
I didn't. I don't.
No, that's nice of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can without hurting people. You're right.
Yeah.
Think of the jellyfish.
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously scared because I thought all jellyfish kind of sting. It just matters if they're poisonous or not. So I didn't even dare touching it. And I guess my brain was overloaded by, oh no, there's jellyfish. Oh no, it's also cold in the water. What do I do?
Process.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. So, being here an intern at Crunchfish, how's life treating you? How's Crunchfish treating you? Are you happy here?
Yeah, I love it here. I've been, how do I say this? This semester I've been the happiest in my life. Oh, it sounds very dramatic, but it just feels nice to do things. And I'm happy that I'm able to, I was happy to have this experience. A lot of my classmates didn't get the same experience to be working with a company, and I know how valuable it is for future recruiters, for a student to be doing this. And I'm learning a lot from everybody at Crunchfish, especially from Thomas, my supervisor. Just some really practical skills like using everything Adobe to just general life things. I don't know. It's been nice to have like Crunchfish as a company that's also like my mentor. I don't know. I'm getting great mentorship here. And then of course I'm hoping that this is going to be like a more lifelong friendship with all of you, especially like the wine and cheese. I'm going to miss
once a fish, you're always a fish. You know, that doesn't go away. So you know, always.
Yeah, so I mean, look forward to me coming back every Friday for some wine and cheese, even though I'm not working here anymore.
Who says you're not going to work here anymore?
Hmm?
Who says you're not going to work here anymore? Are you already sort of? Are you going abroad?
Yeah, I'll still be around. Maybe one day I'll be back. I don't know.
How many years are your? This was your third year, but when is your sort of study finished?
This is my final year.
Okay. Yeah.
So next semester I'm gonna be doing my thesis, and then who knows what the future
holds. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about the future of Crunchfish?
Funny that you ask, but I was thinking about the other day. But I think Crunchfish is the future.
How do you mean? Explain.
Well, let's look at the gesture side of things first. Let's start with that. I mentioned earlier that the technology that Crunchfish offers right now, you're constantly challenging the status quo of interaction when it comes to gestures. And on the mobile payment side, it's also the same. The other day I saw like a news article about Sweden being ahead of the first country in the world, or being the fastest at how do you say, like using digital currency, like digital.
Yeah, not using cash. We're best in the world not to use cash.
Exactly. So it's really interesting that you're kind of caught in the junction of this. You're making that experience better, and so I think the future falls in your hands. And whatever Crunchfish is offering, I think is really important to the growth of Sweden, digital currency, gesture interaction, everything. So it's really interesting. It's interesting to be witnessing this as a kind of an outsider, but also an insider, I guess.
No, we're very happy to have you here. What's in your future?
Wow. Now this is the question that I dread the most. I have no idea what
one of your hologram questions.
No, that's not one of them, but it's one of the questions that I don't have a concrete answer for yet, because I'm still in the process of experimenting what part of UX that I'm interested in. So right now I'm working with Crunchfish, a really tech-driven company with a really tiny, or basically one-person design team. And it's interesting to see Thomas kind of taking all of the tasks to himself, everybody seeing him every day, 5 times per day or something like that. It's interesting to see that. And then for my thesis, I have already been discussing with a company, and they're a design firm. So it's going to be interesting to kind of experience the opposite side of the spectrum, kind of. So we have Crunchfish with one, and then we have a design firm with just designers. And so I'm kind of experimenting and seeing what I prefer. And hopefully with my thesis, I will get acquainted with what I'm truly interested in doing in the future. If it doesn't have anything to do with my future, that's also fine. I think it's still a good experience and good thing to write a thesis, obviously, and it's required to graduate. So of course I have to do a thesis. But yeah, I don't know about my future yet, but I know I love UX. I know I love talking to people. And I've actually grown to like talking to people since I started studying this, which is interesting. Because I was just talking to Thomas about this earlier, that I was the shyest girl in high school growing up. As a toddler, I was also the shyest person. My parents would have to force me to go take a picture with a football team. And I was like, no, I'm scared. I'm shy. I don't want to talk to people. And then people are telling me now that I don't come off as that type of person. I seem extroverted. I seem outgoing. But I think UX has kind of helped me climb over that wall of
Nice.
yeah, so it's nice. I like doing this. I like doing user research, and I hope like whatever the future is, it's going to be something along the lines of what I'm doing now, basically.
I think you have a great future ahead, and we are really happy to. Yeah, we're privileged. You came in with a new routine here, cheese and wine. Came in with your beautiful smile, and just just like Thomas, interacting with everybody here. And I think we've. It's sad. I didn't actually know that you were leaving so soon, but that means that you have to, even during writing your thesis, which will be in Malmö, bring that. What is that? I think that's the cliffhanger. What is the favorite cheese? Even if you can't, you don't have to explain how it tastes, but what's the name of that favorite cheese?
Hmm.
You just know what it looks like, the package or something.
You mean the one I introduced to the company?
Yeah, the one that you couldn't, it's hard to explain the taste, but what is that favorite taste, or whether that cheese brand that you love?
The brand, you can buy it in ICA or Hemköp, but it's called Marquis, Marquis. It's smelly, it's creamy. Basically, everything a good cheese should be is creamy and stinky, but also tasty. So yeah, that is the cheese. Marquis. I totally recommend it. It's great.
Yes.
Well
No,
on everything.
you sold it well.
Yes, smelly and creamy.
Excellent. No, thanks so much, Nelly. Thanks for volunteering to do this. We're really grateful. Thanks for being, choosing us, because I think really you have a choice. You can go to any company, and even if you initiated it, I think it's still your choice to, to come here with your good spirits and making us laugh every day. And we've had a really great ride with you, really. So thank you so much for being with us. Take care, Nelly.
Yeah,
thanks.